My friend J.D. Crowley is a pioneering missionary in Cambodia. He has been there more than 30 years. He has planted churches and won the lost and made disciples and trained pastors. He has reduced an oral language into writing and translated the Bible. When the history of Christianity in Southeast Asia is written, his name will be included in that journal. Well, about 25 years ago, J.D. emailed me just as the work was becoming established there, and I have his permission to read you part of the email. He said, "Lately, I've been flooded with two feelings that on the surface seem contradictory. On the one hand, I have a feeling of complete inability to do what God has called me to do. But also, secondly, a feeling that I am being greatly used by God. I feel like Israel moving into cities they didn't build, harvesting fields they didn't plow, and eating fruit they didn't plant. I'm not discounting our presence here. It is crucial, but I am just an instrument in God's hands." I think J.D. has it right when he says, on the one hand, complete inability and being used greatly by God. And my impression after 19 years at Gordon-Conwell Theological Seminary is that we tend to emphasize the first, complete inability, feelings of inadequacy. I can't do it. Who am I? I've mentored many students over the years. I've hung out with many students, and I hear this regularly. I don't feel up to it. Focus on the complete inability. And so if you identify with that, then our text today has a good word for you. And I'm going to get to that word in just a minute, but first of all, I want to look at these feelings of inadequacy. Okay, here's the context. You remember this story. Moses is a Hebrew, but the Pharaoh imposes this law, this infanticide. Remember, the baby boys of Israel are to be killed, right at birth. But Moses' parents develop this crazy, desperate plan. They put him in a basket, put him in the Nile. He's in the bulrushes. Remember, he's rescued by the daughter of Pharaoh, the princess of Egypt, and he becomes her son, her adopted son. He grows up in the palace. But he never forgot that he was Hebrew. I think his mother kept him in mind, and he still identified with his people. You remember? He gets to be an adult. He's a man. He sees a Hebrew being mistreated, and he actually steps in. He actually kills the guy, actually kills the Egyptian, and then he thinks, yeah, what did I do now? And he takes off and he flees. And so here, when we pick up the story, he has been in the desert of Midian for 40 years. 40 years. And God comes to him and says, I got a big job for you. I'm sending you back. And Moses says, huh? Who, me? Look at his feelings of inadequacy, and this leads to objections. The first one is in chapter 3, verse 10, the previous chapter. God says, I will send you to Pharaoh that you may bring my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. Verse 11, Moses said to God, well, who am I that I should go to Pharaoh and bring the children of Israel out of Egypt? You got the wrong person. I'm just 40 years. Who am I? Second objection, chapter 4, verse 1. Behold, they will not believe me or listen to my voice. They'll say, the Lord did not appear to him. What am I going to say, Lord? I mean, I was out there in Midian, out in the wilderness. I got this holy hunch. I had this vision. I mean, I don't know what to say. Objection number 3, verse 10. But Moses said to the Lord, "Oh, my Lord, I am not eloquent, either in the past or since you have spoken to your servant, but I am slow of tongue and of speech. I can't talk. I hardly even remember my Egyptian and my Hebrew. I've been out here." Next objection, chapter 4, verse 13. "Oh, my Lord, please send someone else." This is not really a feeling of inadequacy as an outright refusal. He does it politely. Please send someone. But he's saying, I'm not going. And this actually kindles the Lord's anger. The next verse says, verse 14 says, "Then the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses." This last objection, chapter 4, verse 12, shows us that what's going on here is more than what they call exaggerated humility. This is actually a technical term, and it's very common in many cultures, exaggerated humility. When someone says something nice to you, when they compliment you, when they give you an honor, the right thing to do is to, hey, that was a great meal. Oh, no, the meat was too tough. Kind of this exaggerated. Well, he might have been doing that. There are lots of instances of this in the Bible. But this last one, he just doesn't want to do it. Please send someone else. May I make one application? I think this text could go a number of different ways, but let me give you one application. Witnessing, sharing the gospel. This command, this calling, this commission from God came to Moses. Go, be my mouthpiece, be my representative, witness, share the word, represent me. And that same commission was given to the apostles. Go into all the world, make disciples. Acts chapter 1, you will be my witnesses. This same commission comes down. Paul gives it to Timothy. Do the work of an evangelist. And down through the chain, down through the ages, down to 2021, down to Gordon-Conwell, to ministers in training. Witness. Represent me. I'm calling you. I'm handing the baton to you. I don't know, maybe I'm thinking of this one application because I think that that's how the Lord is speaking to me through this text. Specifically, my wife and I, my wife Liz is in the front here, welcome. We have the opportunity, the Lord is opening doors right now to share the gospel with 2 different sets of people. I'm feeling the calling, the commission to do this. But you know what I do? Maybe, I don't know, feelings of inadequacy. I make excuses. You want to hear some of my excuses? I'm busy. Can I get a witness? And it's true, these excuses, they have the ring of truth and an element. And in order to share the gospel, you want to build a relationship and spend time and hang out and build trust, But the Spirit pushes, and is it primarily an excuse? I don't see them very often. That is true. That is true. I think it's going to take some creativity and some perseverance and some zeal to find opportunities and ways and gently push on the door and see if the door opens. Here's another one. This crosses my mind. It won't work. It won't do any good. Well, who knows? Who knows? It may not. It may have a ring of truth to it. But that's really not my business, is it? I don't want to offend. That's a good one. That's a good one. We don't want to offend. We don't want to go, thumping people over the head with the Bible. But let's not let these semi-accurate, semi-inaccurate rationales become excuses. I think another internal, excuse or feeling of inadequacy may be, it's hard to witness today. The God term of our culture is probably tolerance. That is the highest value. And for us to come on and say, thus saith the Lord, here's God's will, for God so loved the world, he gave his only, and whoever believes in him. For us to do that, it feels very, top down, and I know it all, and I'm better than you. We don't intend that, and so we shrink back from God's clear command. Go into all the world. You will be my witnesses. Do the work of an evangelist. Moses, get up, stand up. I'm sending you back to Egypt. Okay, so if you identify with Moses, if you identify with me, the text has a good word. It has a gospel word for us. You ready for the good word? Here's the word. I am with you. I know you're scared. I know it's hard. I know it's a hard day today, tolerance, and I know that. I'm with you. Stand up. Walk across the room or walk across the land. Walk in faith/obedience. I will be with you. So here's his first excuse back in chapter 3. He said, who am I that I should, go to Pharaoh and all this? Verse 12, I will be with you, and I will give you signs. Second excuse, chapter 4, Moses said, behold, they won't believe me, they won't listen to my voice. What will I say to them? The Lord said, well, what is that in your hand? A staff. He said, throw it on the ground. Remember this part of the story? This is an extended way, a sort of a nonverbal way of God saying, I will be with you. I will give you signs. I will give you power. You and I will demonstrate that this commission is from the Lord of the universe. Third objection, third one. Moses said, oh Lord, I'm not eloquent, I'm slow of tongue. The Lord said to him, well, who made man's mouth? Who makes him mute or deaf or seeing or blind? Is it not I, the Lord? Now, therefore, go, and I will be with your mouth. Get up, stand up, do what I'm telling you to do. I know it's hard, and I will be with you. Last excuse, the outright objection. Please send someone else. Then the anger of the Lord was kindled against Moses, and he said, is this not Aaron, your brother? I know that he can speak. Well, behold, he's coming out to meet you. When he sees you, he'll be glad. When you speak to him and put the words in his mouth, I will be with your mouth and with his mouth. and I will teach you both what to do. So the word is, I will be with you. Walk in faith, walk in obedience. Now, as I'm speaking, as I'm opening this old story, is the Lord communicating with you? Is the Lord calling to your mind, particularly witnessing, maybe some other commission? You know, this is how God, one of the primary ways God communicates with us, it's through his word. If he is communicating with you, but you feel inadequate, receive his word. I will be with you. Fear not, I am with thee. Oh, be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will still give thee aid. I will strengthen thee, help thee, and cause thee to stand, upheld by my righteous, omnipotent hand. And this presence, this grace of God, I will be with you, is developed and expanded and explained even more in the New Testament. We understand things even more clearly, perhaps, than Moses did. Remember, go into all the world, make disciples, and lo, behold, I am with you even to the end of the age. And how is he with us? Through the Spirit, through the ministry, the presence, the abiding of the Holy Spirit. Do you remember the night that Jesus was betrayed? Remember the upper room, Last Supper, foot washing, and everybody's feeling really sad and feeling like, oh, we're in trouble now. And Jesus keeps saying, I'm going away, I'm going away. And they're like, oh, no, he's going away. What do we? And they're feeling very inadequate. And he says to them, chapter 14, John 14, I will ask the Father, and he will give you another helper to be with you forever, even the Spirit of truth. He will be in you. I will not leave you as orphans. So through the presence, the power, the abiding of the Holy Spirit, he is with us. What does that look like? It looks like conscience. Maybe you've experienced that this morning. It means the ministry, the work of the body. You know, everybody supplies what everybody supplies, and together we're built up into the image of Christ. It looks like guidance. Maybe it looks like signs, proofs. He is the wind in our sails. So, get up, stand up, get moving, walk in faith / obedience, trusting him. I am with you. Moses came to see that and believe that. My friend J.D. believes that. On the one hand, an understandable feeling of inadequacy. On the other hand, a confidence that through the Spirit, he is with us. A moment for you to make your own response to God, and then the musicians will lead us.